What's going on, everybody? Today I will be reviewing the movie Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, my wife and I, we went to go see it on Fridays, right when it came out. And man, that movie theater was packed. There was so many teenagers in there. They were getting on my damn nerves. I mean, shit, we should have went to, I'm telling you, if I wasn't doing movie reviews, I would have waited till this movie died down to go see it. But since I'm doing movie reviews, I said, no, I kind of want to put my movie reviews out kind of close to when the movies come out. But yeah, it was so many damn teenagers in there, and it was just acting all crazy. I'm like, man, I ain't doing this again. And like I said, this movie, before this movie came out, of course, this was a video game. I never played the video game before. People said it's better than the damn movie. So I'm like, oh man, it made me want to kind of play it now to see if it's a good game. But I'm brand new to this, so this is my first time really getting into the Five Nights at Freddy's. And I heard a lot of teenagers in the movie theaters they play the game, so I'm like, oh okay. It's like I was so excited for this movie. I was like, oh okay, because it's produced by the people that produced this movie. They produced Megan, and I gave Megan a 10 out of 10. Y'all go check out that movie review I did in January with Megan. I gave that movie a 10 out of 10, perfect. And I'm like, okay, Five Nights at Freddy's, this might be a good one. Man, this movie was a huge disappointment. It was. This movie was not good at all. I think this is probably the worst movie of 2023 that I've seen. Sorry, it is. This movie was bad. And yes, this movie's an hour and 50 minutes. An hour and 50 minutes of bullshit. And they classify this as a horror movie. It was nothing scary about this movie at all. I didn't even jump once or anything. It was nothing scary about this film. A troubled security guard begins working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. While spending his first night on the job, he realized the late shift at Freddy's won't be so easy to make it through. Like I said, I'm not really feeling Blumhouse so far with their production lately. But now let's get into the director. Now this director, I know her name been popping up here and there, but her name is Emma Tommy. I never heard of this director before. Never heard of her before, but I think she did a horrible job in this film. I'm sorry to say that, but I did not like this. I didn't like the direction she went with this at all. She could have made this 10 times better. I'm not going to go over every cast member because, I'm just going to go over a couple of them. Which this next cast member, his name is Josh Hutcherson. Of course, this actor, I used to watch him when he was in the Hunger Games with Jennifer Lawrence. But to me, he's not a great actor at all. I, Especially, he did not do anything. He did not contribute to this film at all. To me, he had no emotion. His acting was forced to me. It seemed like he was forcing to act instead of being his natural self. He was dry and he was so monotone in this film. It's like he can care less what was going on. It was like he was just so vague about everything. He was like, oh, okay, whatever. He was just going on to the next. I don't know. It was just crazy. I did not like his acting in here at all. And of course, he played the security guard. That was at this at Freddy's Pizzeria, which is like a Chuck E. Cheese, basically. So yes, he was the security guard. But I gotta say, the beginning of the movie, I thought it was gonna get somewhere because it seemed like it was getting intense when he thought this grown up was kidnapping this kid, I guess, and he was having flashbacks of when his brother got kidnapped. So I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Then after that, it just went downhill. And the next cast member is Mary Stuart Masterson. She's a great, phenomenal actress. I didn't seen most of her movies, and I was shocked to see her in this one. Which I mean, I think she did the best out of everybody in this film, even though she had a little small part in this film. But still, it's like she did the best out of everybody because to me, she's a experienced actress. She's been acting in movies in the '70s and '80s, so I was glad to see her in here, and I've seen a lot of her movies. So good job to her. She at least has some chemistry in this film. Now, the little girl in this film I didn't like. I'm sorry, because really I don't want to be so harsh on the actors and actress, but I wasn't feeling the girl at all in this film, the little girl. Um, she lacks emotion, and I couldn't stand a police officer in this film. I'm like, this stuff was just pointless. She's terrible at acting. I'm like, man, get rid of these people, man. I'm over here like, come on, the animatronics, get these people. But like I said, the performance was weak. The acting was very bad, and it lacks entertainment. It does. It was nothing entertaining about this film at all to me. It was just so dull. When I hear Five Nights at Freddy's, I want to see something scary, especially y'all promoting this movie like it's gonna, like, for Halloween. I want to see something frightening, something terrorizing, and something scary. I'm telling you, if I had control over this movie, if I was a director, producer, whatever, first of all, I would have made this movie rated R. Rated R for adults only. And the storyline I would have came up with, it would have been a simple storyline where, okay, you got this guy, he's down on his luck. He's trying to find a job. And of course, he finds a security job. Then I would have had it where the pizzeria was actually open. And I would have shown kids going in there having a good time. Then I would have had it where after his shift was done, when he was about to get ready to leave to go home, I would have had it where he couldn't open. They would have locked him in. They would have trapped him in where he couldn't leave to go home. Then from there, then have the animatronics just terrorize him. I mean, an hour and 50 minutes of terrorizing. I'm telling you, if I was controlling that movie, that would have been a 10 out of 10 easily. He would have been just trapped in a pizzeria trying to get home, and he found out the doors won't open. Then after that, it's on. Man, I would have had it a lot of blood and gore in this film, and just scary throughout the whole thing. Jump scares. Oh man, I'm telling you, this would have been so easy to just execute. I don't know how they just dropped the ball on this. I understand they wanted to make it PG-13, to get the ticket sales. But sometimes when you want to make great movies, you just can't be thinking about ticket sales. You got to make something great that the audience will like. I'm sure, I know how this Hollywood thing works. And like I said, if I was control of this movie, I would never had it where he he got his brother got kidnapped. I would have never even put that in the storyline. But still, like I said, this movie had all the elements in this film to make it a 10 out of 10, but they dropped the ball on this one. And I'm not saying every horror movie got to be rated R, because like I said, Megan was a PG-13 movie and they executed that very well. And like I said, I gave that a 10 out of 10. But at least Megan, you can understand the movie. It had a decent storyline to it. This one was just all over the place. And I gotta say, sometimes it's okay to make things simple. Like the most irritating thing in this movie when they kept showing the flashbacks of him in the woods with all these kids, and he just having flashbacks of his brother getting kidnapped. That kind of damaged the movie because it seemed like it would get good at first, and after that, it will break up the scene where he's back in the woods. And I just hated that back and forth stuff when he was in the woods and his brother was getting kidnapped. I'm like, come on, man, you just messing up the movie. And we get the point. You're going through childhood trauma, but this storyline didn't need to be in the movie. I'm like, come on. I'm here to see the animatronics terrorize people, not you in the woods every damn scene or every other scene. You looking at your brother getting kidnapped. Like, we don't need that in the film. It was pointless. And this movie took a while to build up. I mean, it was a very slow movie in the beginning and the middle of it. It took a while to build up. You didn't really see the animatronics until kind of like a little bit of the middle and more of the end. No momentum at all. So there was no momentum to get excited about this. No substance. It was dry. And one thing I had a problem with is, why is a security guard working at a place where it's not even operating? I just don't get it. He's a security guard, guarding what? I mean, it looked like the place is shut down and it's not even open to the public. So I'm like, okay, what's the point? It's like an abandoned building, abandoned place. So it doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, he's a security guard at a place that's not even open and the building is abandoned. So, okay, where we going here? And I say the best part of this movie was when it was like 3 or 4 people breaking into the Freddy's pizzeria, and the animatronics got to them. Now that was the only best part in the movie, and even that was weak. I mean, every time the animatronics were going for a kill, I guess the scene would cut off. They won't even show the full killing. So I'm like, man, I just lost it after that. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Now you have some great moments in this movie. I give them credit on their sound design with the music. The creepy music was nice. The creepy visuals of the animatronics, that was perfect. Well done. The cinematography was nice. This had potential to be the scariest movie this year, but they didn't utilize the great things that they had in this movie. Sorry to say, I was really bored with this movie. I was. My wife and I was just looking at each other. I was bored. I was almost ready to leave through the middle of the movie. I'm sorry. I'm like, man, I don't know how much of this I can take. It was just too slow. Like I said, this movie wasn't scary at all, especially for it to be a scary movie. They classified this as horror. Nothing was scary about this film at all. The jump scares were weak. Everybody was saying, "Oh, they had jump scares." I couldn't tell because it was just so weak. Yes, a weak movie. Man, if they just would have took out this dumbass storyline about the kid getting kidnapped or whatever, and just made it where the security guard was just doing his job, and when he was trying to leave, he was trapped inside of the Freddy's pizzeria for 5 nights. Oh my God, they should have made it like that, where he was just trapped in a pizzeria for 5 nights, getting terrorized by these animatronics. This would have been a 10 out of 10 easily, easily. And like I said, I'm gonna give this movie a 2 out of 10. Yes, a 2 out of 10. It was not a great movie at all. Um, I think they played us with this. They did. I don't appreciate people playing with my money. Um, they hyped this movie up so much, which I think the teenagers might like it because they like playing the game. Now for adults, we'd be pissed. I'm pissed about this movie because I thought my expectations was high for this, and I think this is a money grab. They knew that this movie wasn't all that great, and they just said, "Hey, we're gonna throw it out because it has so much hype on it, and let's make our money off this. This is a money grab." Yeah. And I'm telling people, if you want to see this movie, see it where you're not spending so much money. Go to like the $5 Tuesdays. Don't spend the regular price on this movie. Don't do it. Yeah. Now I'm gonna stop saying this too. I always say this a lot. Oh, I'm gonna review this movie next. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep it this way. Just look out for my next movie reviews because sometimes I be changing my mind on movies. I still haven't seen Saw 10 yet. And a lot of people were like, "Man, you gonna reveal Saw 10?" I said, I'm gonna pass on that since the movie came out last month. It's like too late to be putting it out, but I'm gonna still see it, but I'm not gonna do a review on it. So I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna reveal something because I'm always changing my mind on certain things, and sometimes I don't have time to see it. So I'm just gonna say, hey man, just look out for my next movie review because I have more of those coming. So I'm gonna keep it that way, so it won't be no disappointments. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this movie review. Stay tuned. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Leave some comments in the section. And I'll see y'all next time. All right, I'm out.